Welcome to the July meeting of the Troy City Planning Board. If you could all stand for the pledge. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So, first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to nominate a temporary chair for tonight's meeting as Peter's absent tonight. So we can do that business.
I make a motion to nominate Jim Scully as acting chairman tonight.
I second that.
Motion carries. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Should technically call for a vote. Should call for a vote. Okay. So we do have a quorum.
Three, right?
There's 3 for a quorum, 2 absent. I think anybody who is here tonight could choose to move to when we have 5, or you have to live with whatever we come up with if our vote is binding. So that's what we're going to have to deal with. So we're going to take a roll call right now. Yes.
Jim Shufelt, present.
Jeff York, present.
Jim Scully present, so we have 3 for a quorum.
All votes have. Because the requirement is that a majority of the membership of the board has to approve any action. Any approval tonight will have to be unanimous.
Right. So that is for the public, that's the risk. If it's not unanimous, it's binding and you would have to start all over again. So that's where we're at. First thing, we have some administrative items is to approve the minutes from the prior meeting. We need a motion to do that.
I make a motion to approve minutes from June's planning board meeting.
I second.
So the motion's adopted.
So you want to say all in favor?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, then with our first item on the agenda. Pete. Oh, so the minutes from last month.
Yes.
We already did that. I just did that.
Did we do that?
Yeah. All right. So the first thing on the agenda is PLPC 2024-0059, 84th Street.
Jim, do you want to clarify the 2 items that have been removed since the draft agenda was posted, just in case anyone
Sure.
was attending for that?
So we do have 2 items that have been pulled from the agenda. PLPC 2025-0002 and PLPB 2025-0038 are not on tonight's agenda. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Good to see
Hello.
you again. My name is Kyle Engstrom with ME Studio Architects, and here regarding 84th Street, currently it's a mixed-use building with 1 commercial space on the ground floor and existing 3 apartments. We are seeking approval to essentially convert to 12 units overall, including the rear structure where the current carriage house is. We'll keep the commercial space on the ground floor, and it's a fairly, large scale project. In the last meeting, there was some conversation regarding the area variance for the square footage, the average square footage for the rear structure, independent structure. We have since been to the Zoning Board of Appeals, and they have granted us an area variance for that structure. And so I think we're here today sort of taking another look at it and hoping that we've sort of crossed our Ts and dotted our Is here.
So status of your meetings with the HRC?
We also returned to the HRC to clarify anything regarding that, in particular, that carriage house. Showed them the extent of the demolition proposed, and they were okay with it. We the last order of business we had with them was just getting the sconces approved. We've sent a proposed sconce over to Angie. I think that's the last thing to outstanding item with historic.
So the encroachment permit on William Street, is there a status there?
Yes, sir. So we have submitted the application for the encroachment permit, I believe
I
today.
just received it.
We
this
sent
afternoon.
that out. And again, that we've reviewed that previously with the fire chief, and barring any setback with the engineer, I think we should be okay there.
Any other questions?
There was a staff recommendation for DPW to sign off on flow calculations.
Yes, so I'd have to get an update on that. I know that the owner was working with J&J Plumbing to get that done, and to my knowledge, they're wrapping up with that, and we're awaiting a final sign off by DPU.
Yeah, we've received the information. We have it under review. That's good enough for application completeness. We can work out any final permitting if there is any comments on the review at that stage.
And the last thing was the update county 911 with new address locations on site.
That's correct. I have that as a note. I wanted to sort of determine where all this squares away, and in fact that the carriage house will hold 4 units, and before I proceed with that, but that's next on my list.
Okay.
So the application is complete. So the only other thing is the encroachment on that. But you say you just received it?
Yes.
Any motions? Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you.
You want to classify the action
Yeah,
for
so
seeker purposes?
so we have to declare this is seeker unlisted. So we need a motion for that. Any motion to declare the seeker unlisted?
So it'd be first off would be to classify the action. I think staff believes it should be an unlisted action.
Right. So
And then, pardon? Sorry. So the first step would be for the board to resolve to classify the action. Staff has recommended that it be classified as an unlisted action, and then to move to determine its environmental significance, which would be either a negative or a positive declaration, right?
So is there a motion?
I make a motion to declare the seeker unlisted action.
I second that.
A vote?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
3
0.
in favor?
So it's an unlisted action. So now you want to determine its environmental significance. Can make a motion for
So we
either for a
need
neg deck. or-
Motion for, to determine either a positive or negative declaration for seeker.
I make a motion to declare this a negative.
I second that.
Any comment,
Negative declaration.
discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
3 for the neg deck. All right, and then do we feel that the application is complete?
Good.
Uh,
I make a motion to declare the application complete.
Second,
Second that.
discussion? Any discussion? No?
How about you?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, and then the last thing, motion to schedule a hearing?
I make a motion to schedule a hearing
For August.
for August.
I second that.
Any discussion? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it, 3-0. All right,
Okay,
good.
great. Thank you, everyone.
See you next time. All right. Next on the agenda is PLPB 2025-0018, 249 River Street. Hello.
Hello, my name is Allison Phillips. I'm an attorney with the law firm Young Summer, local counsel to National Grid. We're here tonight on our proposed project we're calling the Troy UTEN site, the Underground Thermal Energy Network Project, to be located at 249 River Street. The project includes the construction of a new 1,400 square foot building, which will serve as the Energy Center building for the thermal energy network that will be developed by National Grid. The property is owned by the city of Troy and will be leased to the Troy Local Development Corporation and then subleased back to National Grid. Since first appearing before the planning board in April at the sketch plan conference, the project's undergone review. We've taken into account the comments we received early on from the planning board and have incorporated a lot of that into revisions to the project design, which have been provided to you in a complete civil plan set. We've also gone before the Historic Review Commission, developed revised architectural plans in response to comments received during that review process, and also obtained a variance from the zoning board from the provisions of Chapter 285, which would have required a 30-foot separation distance between the buildings to provide that unobstructed view down to the water. So we're back here to the planning board to request site plan review approval for the project. There's also a question as to whether or not we need a waiver to site public utility infrastructure in the resilient waterfront and flood risk overlay zone. The parcel itself, there is a portion of the parcel that appears to be located in that overlay zone when looking at the map. But as we can get into more detail, if the board has any questions, that portion of the parcel that we're actually proposing to construct on is actually at a higher elevation, which we submit takes it out of the overlay. But to the extent the board believes that a waiver is needed, it has the authority to grant that waiver under the zoning law, so we would request that by motion. We have tonight here our team, including CHA, who has worked on developing the civil plans, our architectural consultant, and also some representatives from National Grid in the event the board has any questions for us.
I have one question. There's some discussion as to what a banded window is. Maybe you could clarify what a banded window is?
Sure. And if I may, I'll get the backup of our technical consultant here who could speak to it better than us and has actually brought some of our renderings here just to kind of illustrate what we're talking about.
So this is the revised LV. Dennis Raguso with SRA. And I'm not sure what you guys have, what was submitted to you guys, but this is the revised elevation that was submitted to you guys with comments from ATR. We originally presented the building. This was all storefront. The glass went down to the ground. HRC requested that we relieve the glass from hitting the ground. So there's a solid wall that's underneath it, and it follows your zoning codes. It's J. They're called storefront openings, windows, not storefront. But we did respond to that comment that you guys had.
Thank you. So, my understanding is we need a waiver for placing a utility structure in that district.
Utility infrastructure within the flood overlay zone.
Right, so that's something we
The
approve.
planning board is the only board that has the
Right.
authority to
So
grant
we
that
need to
waiver.
give them this waiver.
So,
in order for it to go
yeah,
forward.
if you believe it's appropriate and just, you can do so by motion and vote.
Right.
Okay, can we explain the waiver? I'm trying to understand. You mentioned part of the building was in a flood, or I guess part of the building is in that zone where this waiver is needed.
So it might be more accurate to say, I mean, the part of the lot is definitely within the flood overlay zone. The maps themselves conflict. There's more than one map that shows the flood overlay zone. On one of the maps, I think the line seems to be going behind this structure they're proposed to build. On another map, it seems to encompass more of the lot. So out of an abundance of caution, I think a waiver should be sought, and the board should consider whether or not to grant it. This is utility infrastructure, which means that, it will be providing essential services to the downtown area. Essential utility services.
So I have a question about existing utilities on that site. How are you interacting with that? Is this slab on grade, basically? Yeah, it is. So we're not going down below?
Hello,
Hi.
my name's Nick Schwartz, Principal Landscape Architect with CHA. So with regards to the utilities, there are some major utilities that are running underneath the building. We are rerouting all of the utilities outside of the building footprints and around the proposed building. We've been working with the city's Department of Public Works to make that happen, and have gone through a rigorous process with them to make sure that everybody was on board with both water, sewer, stormwater, and gas, as well as electric. So everything is going to be clearly rooted out and around that parcel,
Thank you.
Around the whole parcel or around the building?
around the building, and mostly outside of the leased parcel line.
So with the objective that the city has access to service any of these
Absolutely.
utilities.
Yep, they will have clear and unfettered access to all of the city-owned utilities that are currently running that will be relocated.
So another question. Where the building sits, there was a staircase behind
Yes,
there. How far back does this building go in comparison to that staircase? Is that staircase, I know it's not functional now, but in consideration of the future, what about the back of the property, the building that you're proposing to do?
the back of the building still allows enough access behind the building for free and clear access for any future stairway that would want to go down there. It also respects the current ADA access down from Front Street into the adjacent building.
Now, my understanding also is that this is going to be like a pumping station, basically.
So yes,
Yeah.
it's basically going to be a building that houses pumps
Yep.
and other equipment that will provide a conduit to recirculate the liquid that heats and cools the system
So the wells themselves are going to be in the park, is that correct?
Yes,
So the water, the warm water coming out of the ground, alleged warm water coming out of the ground is then going to go back, behind us into the pumping station or below grade, or how's that going to work?
with that, I'm going to turn it over to Brendan Hall. Brendan Hall is from CHA
Wow,
and can maybe explain the process a little bit better.
wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm Brennan Hall with CHA Consulting. We're the engineer record for the project. The question was the route the water is going to go to all of our geothermal infrastructure, which will be owned by the Troy LDC, is going to sit down on the Front Street grade in Riverfront Park that will route through Front Street and go and route on below grade up into our site that's going to sit up on the
Okay.
Front Street grade.
All right, that kind of answers the question. Yeah, thank you.
One thing I was looking up, so on that plot, the 100-year floodplain in that area is 26 feet. And so our grade level at that is 31 feet.
Noted. Anything else?
What's the noise? The noise from these pumps, is it,
I can address that. So the building itself, where there will be equipment located, provides a noise attenuation, just from being enclosed. There will be some equipment on the roof, but that will also be enclosed by a parapet structure. That will also provide a mitigating effect to attenuate noise.
Okay.
And the application documents reflect that we will be compliant with all, applicable noise limits at the property line.
very good, thank you.
And exterior lighting, is there any plans to kind of light the site? That's a dark area right now. And, keeping up with, what we've done in downtown, there's a lot of people on the street now. To make this building look like, it belongs. Is there any thought about exterior lighting? It's a nice looking building. Well, let's show it off, even though it's a pump house.
Sure. Yeah. So, we'll be happy to look at some security level lighting that would fit within the current downtown guidelines. We don't want to light the parcel up too much, but I can understand the security concern.
Well, I
And
think
they-
it's more decorative than security, and some of the is dependent on those street lights, which are not functioning right now. But
Yeah.
If your building is lit, it just helps, and it would look. The building would look better too.
Yeah, we can certainly look at the, on the south
Simply.
side
Yeah.
to provide some level of exterior decorative lighting that meets with code.
Thank you.
Sure.
So we need a motion to. That will do. That's good. Right. So we gotta do the completeness. We need a motion.
So we want a
Please.
motion to grant waiver for utility structure reside in RWF.
Exactly.
I make a motion to grant a waiver for utility structure to reside in the RWF.
I second that.
Any discussion? No? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 3-0. Passes. Next thing would be, do we feel that the application is complete?
I make a motion to declare the application complete.
I second that motion.
Any comment? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 3-0. Motion passes. All right, then, do we need to provide a waiver for the utility service structure on?
You just did.
We just did. Okay, so that, the other motion did that for us. Next thing would be to schedule a hearing. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion to schedule a hearing for the next meeting in August.
Right.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Say aye. Aye. 3-0. See you in August.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time.
Now, I think it was the front of the building is what I was thinking about.
You might
So
wanna
at
mention
least
that.
some-
You know,
Yeah. okay.
Keep your.
All right, the sound lighting be over here. Right. So I was thinking about the lighting
In
the
front.
facade of the building.
Right, yeah.
So in the future,
Right,
things are moving that way.
right.
Okay, next on the agenda is PLPC 2025004 1819 Fifth Ave.
Evening, Lindsay Hooper of Patterson, Sampson, Ginsburg and
Oh,
Griffin.
Can you speak into the
Oh,
microphone there?
Hello, can you hear me? Is that
Just
better?
barely. I'm old and I can't hear very well.
Lindsay Hooper on behalf of Patterson, Sampson, Ginsburg and Griffin, the attorneys for the applicant 1819 Fifth Avenue Associates LLC.
Thank you.
So we are seeking to subdivide a lot that currently has two existing structures. One is being used, it's a carriage house for residential purposes. The other is a commercial office space. So we are seeking to subdivide that lot so the residential and the commercial buildings are on individual lots.
Okay, I'm just pulling it up here to take a look. Okay, there are some questions about, we need an easement, is that right? We need a permanent easement or?
So I think they have provided an easement, but I haven't had an opportunity to review it. So
Okay.
I would request that anything you do be subject to review of the easement by Corporation Counsel. I'm pretty sure that'd be okay with the applicant.
Yes, absolutely.
It's not a hearing tonight, so
No.
I think
Right.
just having it in the,
No, we're just putting it
on the
Right.
record right now
Yeah,
is
final approval would
sufficient.
be
Yeah.
next.
Yeah.
So basically there are no other changes to the property. We're just looking at a division
Yes, that's
to
correct.
separate the properties for the purposes of,
Yes, they are both essentially being used for different purposes. One's a residential renovated carriage house that's turned into apartments, and the other building is being used exclusively as an office space at this time.
Yep.
So the intention is just to split those up. There's no, other plans other than that at this time.
just so that one is corporate owned basically, and one is owned as a residence?
Correct.
Okay, I understand. And it's a beautiful property, by the way.
It is.
Okay,
Ye-
so.
You had questions about the staircase.
Yeah, in the back of, so a little bit confusing on the actual drawings where, and I think I know, I'm a little bit familiar with the property, but the staircase that goes to the third story rooftop deck,
Mhm.
that's an exterior staircase, right?
That is an interior staircase.
That's an interior staircase.
Yes.
So, but the subdivision line cuts that off. So,
Correct. It would only allow access to that third floor rooftop under this.
so
plan.
yeah, I guess what I'm misunderstanding. Because it looks like the drawing to me, that looks like an exterior set of stairs outside the subdivision line, the proposed division line, and then the stairs are outside of that. I mean, I don't know if I'm confused about the drawing or I don't see how that could be an interior staircase in the back.
Oh, in the back. I thought you were
Yeah, by
referring to
the
the one in
so
the front.
the
Okay.
staircase to the third story rooftop deck for the residents,
Mhm.
right? Okay, that we were trying to figure that out and you know, my understanding is that that starts on the second floor of the carriage house, correct? And comes off the balcony of the carriage house?
So it's sort of like a landing.
Right.
It is interior, so there is a door between,
You mean it's covered?
yes.
Okay, so it's not interior to the commercial space.
I believe it is interior to the commercial space. There is a door that would be, if it hasn't been already, my understanding it will be completely sealed off.
Is there a firewall between the?
I do not know the answer to that, but I could certainly find out. If one needed to be installed, I don't anticipate that being a problem.
I would think they would have to be, there'd have to be a fire rated division, partition of some sort
Yeah,
Well, this,
between the two properties completely.
but this is the subdivision line right here. Right. So this is interior to the carriage house. So I think the stairs, they must be interior to the carriage house.
correct.
Right, okay. Okay, that was our, we're trying to figure that out. As far as means of egress from the commercial property, that's going to come out onto the residential subdivision, correct? So there's front and you can go through the front of the building. And then if there's a second means of egress, is that going to go on to the residential parcel?
Yes, and that is what that easement would account for, emergency and maintenance egress out of that side door through the covered porch onto the driveway.
Great, thank you.
But there'll be no connection between the commercial, between lot 2 and the stairs that lead to the deck on lot 1?
That is my understanding, yes. It would be completely, I think there is right now access, but I believe that the understanding is to seal that off and not utilize that.
And you don't
anymore.
know if the partition is fire rated?
I do not at this time.
Okay, so I guess what we should be engaged to do here is determine seeker.
Yeah,
On this?
if you have enough information to do
Yeah,
that.
do you feel we have enough information to make a seeker determination? Yeah, it's basically just a subdivision lot line.
Staff recommends that it be deemed an unlisted action.
Right. So do we need a motion to, we need a motion to declare that as an unlisted action?
I'll present a motion to declare this as an unlisted action
Under seeker?
under seeker.
Second,
I second.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Officially 3-0.
No, no.
Oh, she
So-
is, are we?
So you
officially-
should let your minutes reflect that.
Right, we
I
now have
showed
a
up.
fourth board member in attendance. Do we have to do a new roll call or? No, okay.
No.
So we have Tony Dickinson here now, and so it makes a fourth board member for tonight. So the next part of business here is to determine whether we have a complete application.
No,
You can determine environmental.
Environmental
as
significance.
well.
Oh, under secret, right?
Neg or positive.
So do we have a positive declaration or negative declaration, their seeker here? It's a neg deck. It's a motion.
Go ahead. No, I haven't been. I haven't.
Can you make a motion? for
I'll make a motion that we
Negative. declaration?
negative declaration for seeker.
Any discussion? Go ahead.
I second.
Discussion? All right. All in favor, say aye.
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 Passes 4-0. By the way, I was an aye as well. All right, and then the next thing is to, is there anything else we need to see on this? Can we declare this application complete?
Go ahead. I don't have it in front of me, so I don't.
I make a motion to declare the application complete.
I second that motion.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's 4-0, passes. All right, and then to schedule a hearing in August. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we plan the hearing for our next August meeting.
I second that.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 4-0. See you next month.
Thank you very much.
If I could just chime in real quick, Lindsay, if you could help us get some clarification on that inner corridor area of the site,
Absolutely.
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'll provide pictures or a floor plan, something of that nature for the
Thank
next meeting. Thank
And,
you.
and the easement, correct?
I think they've already provided
They
the
did
easement, but
provide.
the fire rating for
Right, the stairs.
for
yeah.
the division wall,
Yes, absolutely. I will.
because I think if they're going to be separate parcels, the wall has to be.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you. All right, next on the agenda is 161 River Street, PL PB 20250039.
Good evening. Al Malik Bey, architect, Red Bane Design. I'm here representing Patrice Mayhan and Michael Wistup, who are the owners and operators of the Candy Factory at 161 River Street. And we're here tonight to introduce the project and also to get any input you guys may have for moving forward with getting approval at 161 River Street. And we're proposing to put up a 1,620 square foot elevated deck at the rear of the building. And we basically want to introduce the project and get your input. I believe you guys have the drawings, right? Concept drawings.
I'm trying to, okay, there it is. Okay, so this is if we're on Front Street, this is a second floor
Yes, it would be the second floor.
and there are stairs coming off the property behind the building.
There is a small existing wood stair at the rear of the property, which gives access to the basement area. Almost at grade.
So, so that, how far is that coming out off the property? If I can,
The proposed deck is gonna protrude from the face of the property approximately 30 feet
30 feet from the building out?
from the rear face of the building out toward the river. 30 feet.
Okay, so the property underneath the deck is, Wait a minute, what's the deal with the property underneath the deck? I mean, who owns the property?
The entire property is owned by Miss Patrice McMahon and Mike Wister. So the basement area now is being currently used as a residential space, rental space. The second floor of the unit, which actually is being served from River Street, is the only commercial portion of the building. The rest is all residential apartments.
So you're putting a 1,600 square foot deck over the first floor apartments?
If I may, there is actually no first floor apartment.
Sir, you got to speak on the microphone. Thank
I'm
you.
Michael Wistup, okay? We have a dog. We keep the dog on the first floor. My wife is involved in animal fostering. So we've created just an area for the dog. Prior to this meeting, we had gotten an approval from the historic people to put a fence there. So our plan is to grade that out with grass and shrubbery and to keep our dog there. But there is no first floor apartment. That's just somewhere where would be access for the dog to come in and out.
So the whole first floor of your building is just that?
Well, actually the whole first, from the back, that is the first floor. Or there's the basement, and then there's the first floor. Then there's really the true first floor. It's actually a sub-basement, a basement, and then the first floor.
So the first floor would be street level on
The
the other
first
side.
floor is street level, and that is where we're proposing to bring the deck from the first floor. We use that as an event space.
At the rear of the building, the first floor, the front of the building is on.
Right.
So this is actually technically in the back, it's actually the third floor of the deck for where the deck is. And there's a set of stairs there that were there when we purchased the building. And we just use them for access in and out for the dog. Then the dog goes wherever it goes throughout the building.
The stairs will remain?
The stairs will remain, yes. We are going to, when we do the fence, we are going to repair the stairs.
We were just discussing coming out 30 feet from the building, like the picture, the image we have here, there's cars parked there. Is there potentially some old railroad tracks or something out underneath that?
They have been abandoned. Okay, so they look like they're there, but they don't continue the whole way. They actually end right by the staircase. Matter of fact, they were there and they've been torn up. So they end right in the middle of the staircase.
Begs the question that what kind of utilities are under that?
There's some kind of water pipe that we have dealt with the water department and have gotten permission to come over top of the deck. That's the reason that the deck, when you come out from the building, we need to step up the deck because at that point, we need to have a clearance according to the water department in case there's ever any kind of problem or anything like that. They needed 18 feet in order to get their equipment under there. And that's why there's a step up. I believe there's 3 steps up from the actual first floor elevation to the.
To answer your question, there's a 20-inch water line that's running directly under.
Right.
So we had to.
So the city has an easement under this deck.
Yes, we provide.
So is there any kind of clearance that you need coming out 30 feet? And then are you going to have parking beyond that, right behind Front Street?
Currently, there's parking there, but it's not official parking. Like
Okay.
when we did the environmental assessment, all of that was based upon venue space and requirements for parking and everything, so it's satisfied. There is some parking there, but mainly it's for bringing in deliveries, things of that nature for the venue space above. So it's not actually parking.
Sorry, Al, could I just make sure?
I'm sorry. Yeah, the parking requirement has been satisfied prior when we did the event space. That was some years ago.
So When you say venue space, what do you plan on hosting there?
We mostly do weddings, bridal showers, things like that. Really only, we're not open full-time, although we could be, we are not. We're, for example, Friday, we have a wedding, Sunday, we have a bridal shower. Next week, we have a wedding and a baby shower. So those are the kind of things we do.
It's an existing business.
Okay, so how many square feet do you have in that first floor?
On the, for the venue spaces, been so long since I did that. I want to say, the total square footage. I'm not sure. 9,000.
It's about 9,000.
About 9,000. Yeah, I'd
Nice
say
spot.
9,000, 10,000 square.
And we actually never have, not because we are not permitted, but most of our events are on the weekends. So most of our parking is taken by the State Street parking garage where it's free nights and weekends. There's never been a parking issue with us ever. We've never had a
Okay.
problem parking.
So that's just right down the street.
Correct.
Right. Right on
It's
the
at the end of the block,
On the
Right.
corner.
on the same block.
Yeah.
So do you have a current survey with the easements drawn
I
on?
do. I have one right here. I
Okay.
submitted it. You guys should have a copy of it also.
The concern that we received was that there was no search done for any encroachment, because prior to that, I think it was called Dock Street, and DOT had owned a portion of that area back there, and there was some concern as to whether or not we were encroaching upon that. But we're not encroaching upon it. The surveyor, the reason why he placed a note on there, the concern was that he said that he did not do a search, and in actuality he did, and found that there was no reason for concern, so we just didn't list it on there.
I want to specify,
So-
you guys are using languages stating encroachment and easements. Because on this survey that was submitted to staff, the first note says no search of the public record was made by the survey office for easements or agreements that may affect the surveyed parcel.
Yeah, that's what I'm referencing, but he did do it, he did do the search. But because there was nothing, that any encumbrances, encroachments, anything like that, he
Right.
just didn't add it to it.
So I'm familiar with the deed from one of the neighboring properties. And that deed chain has in it a restriction from the city of Troy with respect to, and I think you may have referenced something yourself, with respect to access to that 20-inch water main,
Right.
which runs in Dock Street.
Yes.
And which, obviously can't be tampered with in any way or permanently covered up. And one of the concerns in the neighboring properties deed chain, there's a restriction written right into it that says that you can't, if you build any structure on the face of the building facing River Street, there has to be enough clearance for our backhoes and equipment to get in there. Do you have such a restriction in your deed chain?
We do. We actually bought the property prior to the next door neighbor. We purchased a property from the city, okay?
Okay.
And that we've dealt with the building department and the water department. They are actually the ones that came up with the 18 feet clearance that we were going to need for the backhoe. We would have never wanted to build it. We would have come down instead of going up. We would have built a deck 14,
Sure.
15
Has this,
feet up.
have these communications been done in writing? Because,
Some of them,
Some have. We spoke directly with Carlo. Carlo was from the building department.
Carlos from the building department, right? But DPU would be someone like Andrew maybe, or?
Yeah, right, exactly. And we spoke to them directly about it, and they just gave it to us verbally and said, this is what it needs to be. This is where.
I'm sorry,
Oh, I'm sorry. We spoke with them, and they just gave verbally and saying that the minimum clearance needed to be 18 feet above that so that they can get access in case of a water main break. There was no written communication.
Right, but there is something in writing in the deed itself, correct?
And I think that might have been where they got the requirement from, is from that information that you're referencing,
So-
but was never communicated to us in a written form.
Can you provide the board with a copy of the deed which contains the restrictive language in it? Okay, and I guess the board, the board could inquire of DPU exactly and have them specify in writing what it is they require. I mean, I'm not disbelieving you in any respect, but I think it would do well for the board to document its file.
I agree. I
and
think
that-
we need that documentation, but also, I'm looking at the survey and, you don't have any easements in front of you from this project at all. We'd like to look at the easements as well.
No, I don't have any easements, and it may just be in the deed itself,
Mhm.
and it might be in the form of a restricted use, because it was acquired from the city. and it might-
You would need to see that.
I would need to see that, right?
Right.
That's why I've asked for that. And what is the distance between ground level and the bottom of this deck?
18 feet.
It is 18 feet.
So-
Okay, but it's coming out a full 30 feet. And
And
what
one
will,
of the
and-
reason, one
what-
of the reasons that it needs to come out so far is after talking to Carlos and the water people, they were concerned if there was ever a blowout in the pipe, that the water would disturb the foundation and the footing. So we came up with the foundation for the pier had to be a minimum of 5 feet away from the edge of the deck. So from the edge of the water pipe. So instead of building a deck 20 feet, okay, we needed that additional space to go where we could put our piers. So since we were going to go 22, 24 feet, we figured we might as well go the whole 30 feet because we figured out that would fit our dining tables for our weddings better at a 30-foot than a 22-foot.
but you're not putting anything on the ground itself.
No,
You're putting
there's
everything up on
absolutely
the.
nothing going to be on the ground except the fence that we already have a
Do
permit
you,
for.
do you have, is the water pipe located? It's a 20-inch main.
Yes, it is located, yes.
Safe Dig came out.
I'm sorry, sister.
Safe Dig came out and did the locating of the actual pipe.
All right, but it's not shown on the survey itself.
The water department, when we spoke to them, they were able to give us a general location. We never verified that the location that they gave us and with Safe Dig actually located the pipe at was, that they job with one another. But yeah, we do know approximately where it's at. It's marked. It's currently marked right now.
Actually, if I can correct him not to really, so we called a Safe Dig, they came out and they came for the electric, the cable and everything else. And then they said the city of Troy does the water line. City of Troy came out and marked the water line. Wasn't quite correct. And then there was a leak and they came and they dug. And so now we have the actual 100% physical location of where the water line is.
So is that laid out on the ground or on a
Yes,
map?
it's laid out on the ground. We can transfer this, I've spoken to the surveyor. The survey will come out and survey that and locate it on the new survey.
I think you want that,
Yeah,
right?
we definitely want that. And, we're gonna need the easements and all that kind of stuff. But mainly, there's gonna be, now that we're building a deck over the top, is there some agreement that needs to happen between them and the water department or the city?
Well, I think there may have to be. I think the board would want the water department to at least offer its permission to construct that over that area, because I don't know, 18 feet sounds like enough, but it's a pretty big, it's 30 feet by what? It'll be 30 feet by 25 feet or 30 feet by 50 feet. So it's a big structure, really. It's a big roof over that area. And our concern as a city was if there ever is a blowout or something like that, we have to be able to get in there fast and perform whatever maintenance is required. And you could, we can't be interfered with by the structure.
And we understand that. And that's why when we designed it, we didn't design any interior piers, although it would have been more economical for us to design interior piers. We could have used smaller beams and things like that. But instead, we came out with no interior piers, no interior footings or anything like that. So there would be actually three ways to get in, from right-hand side of the deck, left-hand side of the deck, or from the river side of the deck. So they could bring in any kind of equipment that they need.
And is-
Our piers are 10 feet apart. Any piece of equipment that the city
So
has is less than 10
Is
feet.
it a steel structure then?
It is a steel structure, yes.
All right, so I think, the board will need that deed with the restrictive language for sure. Any other communications that you've had with the water department and the updated survey showing the exact location of the water line? Because you say now it's definitely located, right?
Correct.
Now, how many feet down is it, do you know?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
But I'm sure we could find out from the people that were there.
Sure.
It's pretty far down.
It's
though.
probably, it's at least 5 feet, I
Yeah,
think.
six, it's six, yeah.
Yeah,
Says
okay.
six, yeah. I remember seeing it from the water department, 6 feet.
Mhm.
So on your to-do list, there's one. I think that, the survey, doesn't reference any of the easements, obviously. I think, we'd probably ask you for a survey with the deck overlay and the exact locations of these easements.
We have already spoken to Mr. Metzger, I believe. Dale Metzger is our surveyor. He's already agreed to come out and do that. He was actually going to try to set up a meeting with Eric. And we were going to go over all of the things that you need, but we don't have any problem providing that survey with the easements and the water lines and things like that. That's not an issue.
How many people do you expect to have on the deck at one time?
Probably less than 80.
Less than 80.
This is really not like a deck to have a music party or things like that out there. And it's generally going to only be used during the spring, summer, and early fall for us to, everybody wants to go out on a deck when they get married. They either want to go out on a deck or they want to stand by a pond. Well, we don't have a pond, okay? But we do have the river. We do have the river. So that's why we want to put the deck, so that they can stand out there and take the picture with the river behind them.
The deck itself is, it's piers, the steel and then concrete,
Well, it's
reinforced
actually-
concrete deck.
Basically, but it's steel and then it's going to get a decking. It gets a corrugated decking and then it'll have lightweight concrete sprayed onto it and then finished.
So it's 1,600 square feet. What are you going to do with all the water that's on the deck? It's
We're
going to
gonna
drain
have-
somewhere.
We're going to have a drain and we'll drain it just down into the park, into our parking lot. Just like the water comes down now, it just goes into the parking lot and there's a swale actually there and it runs right into the swale. That was an issue that we had when we were trying to figure out what we were going to do with our grass area inside of our fence. And we came up with, we're going to put a 2-inch gravel in there so that the water will come and it will all slope towards to the gravel and then it'll run to the swale. And that's how it's done now. There won't be any additional runoff.
So it's all permeable underneath?
No, it is not at all permeable because it's got all Belgian blocks. So that's why it has to go into the swale.
The swell runs directly down toward the end, with the other parking garage. Excuse me. The swell runs down toward the, what would be the south end, and there's a large, large catch basin at the end, and
With sewer. Stormwater.
right, exactly.
What's the city engineer's thought on that?
On the structure or?
No, on the stormwater.
Sounds like there's a game plan to address all these. I think there have been good questions and good responses.
When Metzger does your survey, you might want to have him just kind of identify. I am.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
No, it's okay. No problem. When Metzger does his survey, updated survey, he might want to identify that particular drain.
Okay.
So just to put on the record.
And we could do the calcs if we need to as well, but the amount of runoff, coming up that area is probably not going to be a lot.
right, so you guys have a little bit of a checklist to go over, right?
Yeah, let's just clarify now, the results of the meeting, there'll be minutes, which will, spell everything out for us. Okay, that's fine.
Well, you can have access to the recording. Some of the details of the conversation, the minutes won't really be extensive.
Okay.
Motions are, typically always provided on the minutes.
So,
Right.
so we got a whole list of concerns. Are any of these valid concerns? I mean, I'm sure they are.
This is regarding the
But
application.
our application, like, we're talking about green space. Are those things we can address now or not? I mean, I see, what are we gonna do about green space?
Yeah.
I don't know that we need green space for a deck.
No, but what we're looking for essentially is a site plan, a site plan that's overlaid to this survey that's to scale. And in that, you want to document any kind of additional green space or pervious surfaces that can only go in your favor. So if you're planning on grading underneath the staircase within that fenced in area, put that on your site plan, show that. That's positive. You know what I mean? But there's just some details that we want to see, while I'm at it, just to be sure. You want to make sure that you hit HRC for all of this.
Okay, so I do need to bring this up because that seems to be an issue. We have gotten approval from them at the February 13th, 2024 meeting for the deck,
Yes.
contingent upon details of our exterior door, a lighting plan. What else?
And the guardrail.
And they wanted to know what kind of fencing we're gonna have. Now,
There was also a trend.
All right, that sounds great. I'll have to do a dive into the files because all I saw was like a HRC visit for the fence that you have on
right,
the.
this was prior to this. This is in February 2024. And unfortunately, they don't send out a letter. They send out an email and they send it out to Mr. Day and his computer crashed. I do have all of the records between corresponding about the accepting of the application, the meeting. I actually don't have the final determination from them. But so now my question is, since I'm here, is we have now expanded the deck, okay? Although it's still the same deck, it's just a bigger square footage. Do we still need to go back there and start with them, or will our existing approval, if we make the change, the request that they wanted, suffice?
Yeah, I mean, what I'll do is I'll double check the files when we go back to work tomorrow. Assuming that what you say is correct, if you're not changing any materials, essentially you're just making an expansion of length, then you would, if that is true, that would not require you to get another review of that.
And the approximate date of that letter, if the communication should be July 13th, in and around that area of 2024.
2024. Okay. We're working.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry, February 13th, 2024.
February. Okay.
The meeting was February 13th.
That's right.
2024 was the actual meeting when we went in front.
Sure. We'll have staff create some degree of minutes for you guys so that you can review that. Sorry, yeah, we're working on creating more formal documents to a certificate of appropriateness.
Yeah, appropriateness.
Are there any other concerns from seen in there that we can address or that are need to be addressed?
Well, I think your big thing is the survey, the existing easements, we gotta go through that.
Okay.
Overlay and, give us, a good view of what happens with the water. Obviously you have an engineer doing the deck, so, this is gonna be public. And safety is a concern there. Whatever you can help us with on that, that would be great too.
Okay.
Biggest things for us, I think right now is like, the easement access to this water thing.
Right.
It's a big deal. And so that's the biggest thing. I think as a board, we have to determine position on seeker on this, right? It's unlisted. Do we have to declare?
Yeah, you would have to.
So we're gonna need a motion on that.
Declare unlisted.
Anything else for these people?
No.
No? Any other questions?
I have one more that
Yeah.
I want to ask them. So I'm envisioning this without having seen a rendering, okay, but you've got piers 10 feet apart going around the perimeter of the deck, I guess, right?
We actually have a picture if you would like to see it.
Drawing.
I-
Drawing.
I didn't bring any full-size drawings. I will send over some renderings over to.
So my question actually was, are you designing this in a way that you don't need braces
Yes.
running between the piers?
Yeah, they're clear span.
Clear span, correct.
They're clear span, okay, all right, because obviously braces would inhibit
Once you
access,
Put the braces there, that nobody could ever get in. Yes.
right?
So do you already have a structural engineer on board on this?
We do.
And you'll have stamp plans for that.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what the approach for soils is gonna be at? I'm just saying you're supporting this thing on like 4 piers, but you know, I don't know if.
So we're planning on having big footings. So we're not looking at like, little 6-inch sonotubes to hold this stuff.
Well, the soils
Certainly.
conditions back there, I did that a long time ago. Basically, you got sandy loam back in that area. And yeah, it's more than adequate to support the weight of the.
And we can get an engineering report on.
Yes,
that.
please.
Would you like to see a soils report included with it?
If you have a soils report, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
And once again, the piers will not they'll be 5 feet away from the minimum 5 feet, minimum 5 feet away from the water line.
They're gonna be more than 10 feet away from the water.
Are there any setback issues we have to deal with from those piers to their property line?
No.
Okay. Okay, so
So
I think we're good. We
think he
need
wanted- he
to
wanted
get
to see
those
it.
documents,
we-
the overlays. The easement, new survey, overlays, what we're doing with the water, and so you can show us. And as a board, we have to determine the status of seeker here. So we have to make a motion about it being unlisted.
Type 2 is it?
Is it- It's unlisted, so
Unlisted.
I need a motion.
I'll
for
make a
that.
motion that we declare this a seeker unlisted.
Any second?
I second that.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. It's 4-0. Yeah, all right, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Why don't you give me a call tomorrow? I'm over here.
Okay.
Why don't you give me a call tomorrow? We'll go over the stuff that, the site plan should cover. We didn't discuss any kind of lighting elements here tonight, so we'll all want an understanding of what that looks like.
Okay.
and things like that.
Answered when they
What
come
I'll do
back.
for the board, when we return, I'll have a full 3D renderings.
That'd be great.
Things of that nature, and I'll be a little bit more, because right now it's just a concept.
Sure.
It's just an idea, so.
Yep.
We'll develop it a little bit more.
Sounds great.
Time we return.
Do you want
Alright.
these back or can I?
No, you can keep.
Eric, so on the second page of the staff notes or review, they're going to have all their questions answered on the
Yeah, I'll work with the
Short
applicant
forms
since
and
they have a list of
complete
the,
streets and,
they have this list in their possession, so
Yeah.
I'm sure that they'll be doing some editing and revisions and such.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good night.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, PLPB 2025-0041, 310 Spring Ave.
Sacred Heart.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Nicole. I'm with TSL Adventures.
You don't have to stand on your tippy toes. There you go. You can probably just
Yeah.
tilt that
You can
down.
take it off.
I can take it off.
Yeah, there you go.
Just pull it.
It made me feel uncomfortable.
I'm short. I'm here today. We are currently at Sacred Heart at 310 Spring Ave. We do currently have a school age childcare license. We are transitioning it over to a daycare center. We are not doing any changes. Everything is staying the same. We are just switching over to a daycare license.
Do you know what the state will be requiring of you?
Yes, we already just passed our fire inspection. Are you talking about OCFS? Yes, we just recently had our fire inspector come out. We passed flying colors, no issues on their end. We have our next OCFS visit on July 27th or 29th, whatever that Tuesday is. I will be conducting that with OCFS, and that's just their final walkthrough to get us licensed. But on their end, we are good to go.
So you're doing nothing to the exterior of the building,
No.
correct? Nothing to sidewalks, nothing like that, nothing
No.
to the interior of the building?
Nope.
So what we're doing is we're really changing older kids for younger kids?
Pretty much, yeah, the school, Sacred Heart School had closed. So we are taking over their classrooms. That is all we're doing on our end. We are not adding any addition into it or any sort.
Now, the trips are going to be less or more? Now, it's like you drop your kids off at daycare, pick them up later in the day, where it used to be buses, or what happened?
No, Sacred Heart there was no buses unless they were coming from Troy City School District, or if out of, but it was a private school.
Right.
So we had no affiliation with that. We do still have Troy City School District still bringing older kids because our daycare license will be able to hold up to 12 years old. We are in contract with Troy City School District for universal pre-K. Why we need the daycare center license.
So the impact in the community isn't going to really change that much from what it was when it was actually operating at Sacred Heart School.
No.
If anything, the impact is less or more?
Probably less because there won't be any more.
Because the kids are smaller?
Yeah, no, we will have, we'll still have the school age buses coming to drop off at the top of
Got it.
calling. But
Okay.
other than that, parents will be dropping off in the morning and then picking up in the afternoon.
Got ya.
Is this part of TSO?
Yes,
I know the owners.
yes, they couldn't be here today. They sent me,
Thomas, Shamika, and Lynette, right?
correct, correct.
Any other questions?
Yeah, why is it before us if they're not changing anything?
Because the change of use requires,
Change of use.
Yeah.
anytime it's a school or church, I believe.
Thank you.
All right, so I guess in order for us to go forward, we have to determine seeker. I believe this is type 2. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So we need a motion to determine that this is a type 2 seeker application.
I make a motion that we do it as a type 2 application for seeker.
A second,
I second that motion.
any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes 4-0.
So no further environmental review is required.
Right, you're good there.
That's it.
Is there anything anybody else needs for this application?
I don't think so. I mean, they're keeping.
No.
Nothing's changed.
No,
Yeah, we're
nothing's
kind of
changed.
surprised.
Yeah, nothing's changing. Just the
So
license.
if there's a motion to declare the application complete,
I make a motion to declare the application complete.
I'll second it.
second,
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, passes 4-0. And then do we need to schedule a hearing? for the Next meeting in August, which is going to be buried. So we need a motion for that.
I'll make a motion that we have a public hearing in our August meeting. What is it, the 18th or whatever?
The 19th.
Not 19th, August 19th. A public hearing.
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 4-0. You're good to go.
Yay,
See you next, see you in August. Okay. Looks like the close of our agenda here. I just need a motion just to close the hearing.
To adjourn.
To adjourn the hearing, I'm sorry.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Any second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
This is 4-0. Oh, yeah.